Bill O'Reilly here, Tuesday, December 6, 2022. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening across our nation. Voters in Georgia return to elect a senator. The CDC urging folks to bring back face masks this Christmas. Time magazine names the finalists for Person of the Year. New survey reveals the road rage capital of the country. Also ahead, what has happened to 60 Minutes? But first, residents in Georgia casting another ballot for U.S. Senate. Latest polls show Democrat Raphael Warnock with a 6-point lead over Republican Herschel Walker. Neither candidate passed the 50% threshold last month in Georgia. A win by Warnock would pad the Democratic majority in the Senate 51-49. Both campaigns have spent $10 million in the past 4 weeks. The CDC once again urging residents to wear masks inside. A dangerous combination of the flu, COVID, and other respiratory diseases is causing a spike in hospitalizations. Doctors say the latest strain of COVID, 10 times more transmissible than the other variants. Cases in California, New York, Texas up 25% compared to the summer, but down significantly since last January. Time magazine listing their contenders for Person of the Year. They are Chinese dictator Xi, United States Supreme Court, all of them, Elon Musk, Liz Cheney, Ukraine President Zelensky, philanthropist Mackenzie Scott, protesters in Iran, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. Last year's winner, you may remember, was Elon Musk for his work on electric cars and space travel. Newsweek ranking the worst cities in America for road rage. Towns are judged by violent altercations and intentional collisions. Top of the list this year, L.A., Chicago, New York, Houston. But the most place for road rage drivers, Washington, D.C. Makes sense, right? Folks looking to avoid a fight should go to Louisville, Kentucky. They have the most congenial drivers in the country. In a moment, what is going on with 60 Minutes? Right back. Inflation at its highest level in 40 years and interest rates are skyrocketing, as you know. Market experts like Jamie Dimon, CEO of J.P. Morgan, predicting recession. So to protect your future, do what I did. Call the only precious metal dealers I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. You can get started with a short phone call. They will place physical gold and silver right at your door or inside your IRA or 401k. They are the highest rated firm in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients. Please tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you and they'll give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. Don't wait. You can call them now. 877-444-GOLD. 877-444-GOLD or text GOLD to 65532. Again, 877-444-GOLD or text GOLD to 65532. Time now for the message of the day. When folks ask me, which journalist influenced you the most? I always say Mike Wallace of 60 Minutes. He was the best in my opinion. I got to know him. I'm not going to say he was a mentor, but we would go back and forth about stories and my commentaries. Wallace was whip smart, honest, and a guy that I wanted to be like. Now, 60 Minutes debuted on CBS in September 1968, and Wallace was the host. Based on ratings, 60 Minutes is the most successful program in TV history since it was moved into its present Sunday night time slot in 1975. The average viewership in 2006 was 17 million. This year, 8 million, more than a 50% drop. As with so many other news agencies, 60 Minutes went after President Trump, and they didn't like him very much.
I think it's one of the biggest scandals I've ever seen, and you don't cover it. You want to talk about...
Well, because it can't be verified.
You want to talk about insignificant things.
I'm telling you.
Of course it can be verified. Excuse me, they found the laptop. Leslie.
It can't be verified.
What can't be verified?
The laptop.
Why do you say that?
Because
even the family hasn't... The family on the laptop, he's gone into hiding. For 5 days, he's gone into hiding.
He's preparing for your debate.
Oh, it's taken him 5 days to prepare? I doubt it.
So, of course, history shows us the laptop was verified, could have been verified very easily by 60 Minutes, but they didn't even try. Now, millions of Americans who are Republican, conservative, Trump supporters, they noticed. And that is what has not only hurt 60 Minutes, but most other network presentations. Of course, Donald Trump deserves to be scrutinized. I do that here, even though I've known him for a long time, as you probably know. But when a program starts to really go after somebody, then that is really, really shaky ground. So 60 Minutes took a turn into the political arena. Mike Wallace, Morley Safer, Ed Bradley, those guys were socially liberal, but they didn't pull those punches on the air. I watched almost every week, but now I never watch because it's boring. So I tuned in last Sunday knowing I was going to do this commentary, and here's what we got. A interview with French President Macron where he said, hey, I don't like Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act. But it was never explained why he didn't like it. There was no back and forth. Then we went to Africa, beautiful pictures, but I've seen the elephants. Then some pool player guy. No, I mean, my time is valuable. So anyway, I bid you adieu, 60 Minutes. It was a great run. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. If you'd like more honest news analysis, BillO'Reilly.com is the place for you. And Killing the Legends, my new bestseller, makes a great holiday gift. In a moment, something you might not know.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-925-7584 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-925-7584. That's 800-925-7584. What do you have to lose? Call 800-925-7584. Again, 800-925-7584.
Now, the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. 173 years ago today, a runaway slave escaped from bondage in Maryland. Within a decade, she would be known as the Moses of her people, helping hundreds of Southern blacks make the dangerous journey north on the Underground Railroad. Here is the story of Harriet Tubman. Born in 1822, Harriet was one of 9 children, all slaves, of course. Like her siblings, Harriet was subjected to brutal attacks from her owners. At 13, she was beaten by an overseer with a 5-pound weight. She suffered from seizures, severe headaches, and narcolepsy for the rest of her life. In 1844, Harriet married a free black man, John Tubman. 5 years later, she decided to escape. Harriet followed the North Star to Philadelphia, walking 100 miles by foot from Maryland. After working for a year and saving money, she returned to Maryland to free her sister and 2 nephews. A year later, she rescued her brother and 2 more children. In total, Harriet Tubman made 19 trips into the South and freed more than 300 slaves, including her 70-year-old parents. She did that by buying them. She never lost a single passenger during the dangerous journey north. In 1856, slave catchers put out a $40,000 bounty on Harriet's head, the equivalent of $1 million today. But she remained defiant. After the outbreak of the Civil War, Harriet Tubman played a crucial role as a spy for the federal government. She often disguised herself as an old woman wandering around Confederate territory. She spoke with local slaves and smuggled top-secret military plans to the Union Army. After the war, Tubman lived the rest of her life in upstate New York. She died there in 1913 at the age of 91. And here's something else you might not know. While Harriet was never an official member of the Union Army, commanders credit her with saving as many as 3,000 slaves. After her death, she was buried with full military honors. Back after this.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuits seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-484-3231. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-484-3231. That's 800-484-3231. Again, 800-484-3231.
Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.